Bonjour à tous, je m'appelle Rochelle. Bienvenue sur ma chaîne. So, today I'm going to be reviewing the book Une Petite Copine Zombie. It is the newest book by Fingtam Languages, and you all may remember that I reviewed another book by him called Le Petit Dragon. And I will leave a link in the description box to both of these books. But today we will be focusing on the latest book. So this is a really great book. Of course, this translates to zombie girlfriend or a zombie girlfriend. And this book is great for beginner all the way up to intermediate learners. I have read this book twice, so I really enjoyed it. And just a little excerpt from what the author put in this book. He said that the book is designed to help students at 3 levels: beginner, lower intermediate, and upper intermediate. And the stories in this book are meant to be used for intensive reading. And so that means studying the same story repeatedly for complete understanding. So basically, with this book, it's just one story, but in each story or in each level, more and more vocabulary words are added to each level. So the story just gets a little deeper, and as you go to each level, you just pick up more and more vocabulary words, even though it's based on the same story. So if you can understand level 1, then you can move on to level 2 and level 3, and it'll be easier to understand. So I really like that, and you pick up words along the way. And if you're like me, you made a vocabulary list of words that you didn't know. But one of the great features of this book is that in the first level, the author, who is Aaron of Fingtam Languages, he put a little glossary down at the bottom of the pages, so you don't have to leave the story if there's a word that you don't know. Now, there isn't a glossary in levels 2 and 3, but I was able to make my own little vocabulary list and look them up later, so that was no problem for me. So as I mentioned before, this book is available on Amazon. Now I got the, I guess you could call it the Kindle version, and I also got the physical copy, of course. I like having both. And another thing about this book is that it comes with 2 audio links. It's a link for the slow version, and then the more casual, more faster paced version that sounds more like a native speaker. And so it's so good to have those because you can listen along, and it's really good with pronunciation, because my biggest problem when it comes to learning the French language is the listening comprehension. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to understand native speakers when they're talking. So reading is definitely a big help, but also being able to listen to the story as you read it is a super big help. And that's only available for the first level, but I actually found that I was able to read levels 2 and 3 with no problem, so I was really happy about that. And even though I didn't understand every single word in level 2 and 3, I was able to at least understand enough of the context of the sentence to know what was going on. And another thing that helped me too is that the illustrations are really good in this book. So even if, let's just say I was in level 3 and I didn't know the words, or I didn't know what a word meant, I was able to look at the illustrations and figure out what was happening. So between the illustrations and between being able to understand the context of the word, I never had to leave the story to go look up a word. So I really like that. Okay, so this book, I'm just going to flip through it and just talk about some things that I like about it. Okay, those are the audio links. And like I said, the illustrations are really good and really helpful. One thing I really like is that at the very end of these is that it has a notes page. And so if you just want to jot down some quick notes, you can, which is really helpful. You can just write down some vocabulary words. Maybe there's some vocabulary words that were not in the glossary that you didn't know, so you can write these down on this page. And also at the end of the level 1, there is a question and answer. So it's kind of like a review at the end of the level, And it really helps you to figure out, like, okay, did I really understand what happened? So if you can answer these questions at the end of the level or at the end of that story, then you know, okay, I can move on to the next level because I was able to answer the question. So it's really helpful. All right, let's see what else we have. So that goes through level 2 and 3, and the notes section, or like the note page, is on level 2 and 3 as well. Also, I really like the font size in this book. It's really simple, really easy to read. Um, I do remember Aaron saying that for some people, Le Petit Dragon was, I don't know, I guess more like a children's story. I personally didn't feel that way, but I believe that Une Petite Copine Zombie was made more so for adult learners, adult readers. And what's interesting is that I'm not into zombies at all. Like, I'm not into The Walking Dead or anything like that. But even I enjoyed this book. So I found that to be interesting that I was able to enjoy this book. And so that's why I feel like you all will be able to enjoy this book too, because I'm not even into zombies, and yet I read this book multiple times. All right, so is there anything else that I wanted to share about this book? So I will leave a link to Aaron's YouTube channel in the link below. On his channel, he talks about all the different languages that he's learning. In fact, he and his wife, they are in Thailand learning Thai, which is super awesome. And, that's really helpful. I think he released a video where he's talking a little bit more about this book. So he probably explains it a little bit more than I do. But you can go and check out his videos, and I'll leave a link in the description box for that. So I think that is all that I wanted to bring up about this book. And like I said, I will leave a link in the description box as to where you can go on Amazon and get all of these books. And here they are again. Une Petite Copine Zombie and Le Petit Dragon. And I will leave a link to the video review that I did of Le Petit Dragon. So here are my books, and reading has just been so helpful for me. And so if you have a favorite book that you like to read, definitely leave it in the description box below. I would love to know, and I'm open to suggestions. So just in closing, I just wanted to say about this book, alors j'adore lire une petite copine zombie. J'ai appris beaucoup de nouveaux mots et j'ai même fait une liste de vocabulaire. Merci d'avoir regardé ma vidéo. S'il vous plaît, aimez et abonnez-vous. Cliquez sur la cloche de notification. À la prochaine!